One of the big stereotypes about Montenegro is that it has a beautiful coast, but it's completely overbuilt. While that's certainly true in places like Budva, which has undergone chronic overbuilding, it's a little bit like most stereotypes, it doesn't apply everywhere. If you drive around the UNESCO World Heritage Site, which is the Boka Bay, and you see fantastic, authentic villages such as Perast and the historic Kotor itself, which goes into the mountains. Beautiful, beautiful town. This is a very, very unspoilt part of Montenegro. It's actually the biggest fjord in southern Europe as well. But there's also another part of the coastline which takes up 12% of the Montenegrin coast, which is not only unspoiled, but also developing really high quality tourism, blending luxury with natural beauty and the traditional values of the local population. And it's called the Lustica Peninsula, and it's a little peninsula just below the Tivat Buva road. As you leave Tivat Airport, you come to what is probably the most important roundabout in the whole country. If you go straight, you go to Budva and then onto Albania. If you turn left, you go through the tunnel to Kotor and Boka Bay, and these are very, very popular choices. But if you turn right and take the road less travelled, you come to the Lustica Peninsula, and this is a very, very relatively uninhabited and underdeveloped part of Montenegro on the coast. It's a place where you can find old villages, stone villages, you can find the traditional way of life. I think the population until recently was about 240 on the whole peninsula. There were just a few villages, and life there is all about natural beauty, a lot of olives, a lot of nature, a lot of the traditional way of life. And a few years ago, an Egyptian-Swiss company called Orascom got a 7 million square meter project on Lustica, and they called it Lustica Bay. And this was a partnership with the Montenegrin government. It's actually the biggest investment from a foreign company in the history of the country, and it's the largest investment in Southeast Europe tourism at 1.1 billion euros. And what they're building there is a wonderful project which has 7 luxury hotels, 2 marinas, a village of 2,500 people, and a 18-hole golf course. This isn't just a luxury place for rich people to go. This is a place where development is taking place in tandem with the local community, in tandem with nature. So much so that the local people are benefiting from this, but also it's a place where everyone's free to visit, but also tourists who come here and stay have the ability to enjoy the luxury that is offered by the hotels and by the project, and also to experience the fantastic natural beauty and the open space without the threat of the overbuilding that comes elsewhere on the coast. When I was there a few years ago, I went in October. I was quad biking and I went for kilometers in October. And it was just vista after vista after vista going through these small little villages, and there was just nobody around. It was one of the most beautiful experiences I've had on the Adriatic. I went there last month and I was taken to a village called Klinci, which is probably one of the most interesting projects I've seen here in terms of eco-villages and so on. There's a very nice man called Bogdan, and he's devoted much of his recent life to restoring the village where he's from. This is a village which has just a population of 8. It has 5 churches, of which only 4 of them I can actually fit in. There's one incredible church which is so small that the door only comes up to here on me. And it was built in 24 hours. There was a ban by the Austro-Hungarians coming into effect on the 1st of January in 1800 where no more Orthodox churches could be built. And so the local population built a church on December the 31st, 1799 in 24 hours. And they called it Sveti Sava after the patron saint in Serbia. This is a very, very important church for the community there. And every January the 27th, they celebrate the feast of Sveti Sava. We were invited to come along. It was a wonderful, wonderful experience. At 9 o'clock in the morning, they were pouring the rakia just to get ready afterwards. This big, huge priest came, and he had to duck to get into the church. There was only enough space for 2 people to go inside, so all the congregation was on the outside. Never seen anything like it in my life. And then afterwards we went to the local 4-star eco resort that Bogdan's built, and we sat there with the locals and we had a wonderful, wonderful morning. The vistas were just incredible, and everything in the eco community there comes from within 1 kilometre of the building. This is the kind of nature and traditional authentic experience that you can have at Lustica, and then you go back to your 5-star resort and you have all the experiences of the sauna, the massage, the yoga, all that stuff as well. The beauty of this is that in this place of extreme beauty, with no other neighbours to come and mess it up, synergy with the local community and this just overriding beauty of nature and opportunity is something I don't think I've seen anywhere else on this scale on the Adriatic coast. And so next time you're coming to Montenegro, take a turn right at the roundabout and check out Lustica Peninsula, because it really is doing something very, very differently. It's a new opportunity for luxury tourism in this region.